Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Welcome to my channel Learn Math with Sayyid Ali. Today we will be solving quadratic equation by quadratic formula. And we all know that quadratic equation means ax square plus bx plus c. When the equation is of this form, we say that it is a quadratic equation. Something with second degree, the coefficient of the second degree variable is a, then something with variable coefficient is b and the constant. So the formula is minus b plus minus under the root b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So we learned that we can solve the quadratic equation by factoring method, and we can also solve quadratic equation by quadratic formula. Sometimes equation cannot be solved by factoring method, so we have to use the formula, but we can use formula either way. The formula is minus b, so we have to investigate the value of a, b and c, and then we have to figure it out the roots of the quadratic equation. The important thing in this equation is b square minus 4ac. This factor is called discriminant factor, right? Discriminant. What this factor is called in mathematics? Discriminant. This factor tells us that how many roots the quadratic equation has, right? So we call this factor as d factor. If d is equals to 0, quadratic has only one root, or one solution, Quadratic has only one root or one solution. If d is greater than 0, then quadratic has two real roots, right? But if d is less than 0, quadratic has no real root. So sometimes the student confuse that no roots, it means no root. No, it means no real roots. So roots must be there, but those roots must be having like complex number where we cannot solve this square root thingy, and square root exists. When a square root exists, you know that it's not a real number or real root. So we say if d is less than 0, no real roots, right? So we will take some examples. For no real root, we can take some example first. So for no real root, we can say that x square minus 3x plus 4. This is a quadratic equation. And what we have to see? We have to see b square minus 4ac. So when we calculate b square minus 4ac for this particular equation, so what is my a? A is 1. What is my b? B is minus 3. What is my c? C is 4. So I substitute it here, minus 3 whole square minus 4 times a and c. So minus plus, 3 3 is a 9, minus 16, which brings you 7, minus 7, right? So when you have minus, that means d is less than 0. If d is less than 0, what we have? No real roots. So if we solve this equation, we will find out that there is no real root. So okay, we go ahead and try, because we have a, b, c values. So if question only says that tell us about the following equation has how many roots they has or have, right? So you can only calculate b square minus 4ac discriminant. D is equals to 0, has one root or one solution, one real solution. One real solution means that parabola will cut the x-axis only at one point. And two real roots means the parabola will cut the x-axis on 2 points, 2 distinct points, right? And if d is less than 0, has no real roots, that means that is imaginary number, right? Or we say that there is no real roots, right? So we will see this equation and substitute it in our formula, minus b plus minus root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So always write down the formula first so that you keep remembering it, keep memorizing it, and it is also good for examiner that he want to know that you know the formula, right? Don't put or substitute the values directly. So minus b is 3, so minus minus b will be plus 3, plus minus under root b square, so I am directly writing 9 because we know that minus 3 whole square is 9, minus 4 times a 1 and c is 4, right, and divided by 2 times a. 2 times a means a is 1. So now I have 3 plus minus under the root. So we did this part, 16 minus 9, which is minus 7, right, divided by 3. So there are two roots. We can write them 3 plus and minus under root 1 is actually iota. I can substitute this with the iota. We have another class on iota. What are the imaginary numbers? So I can say iota. So minus 1 is gone, under root 7 divided by 3, and 3 minus iota under root 7 divided by 3. So we have two roots, but these roots are imaginary roots. They are not real roots, right? Now we see another example that where we have two roots maybe, right? So two roots means any equation we can take which we took for maybe for factor form. So we yesterday in our lecture we have this equation, right? 2m square plus 7m plus 6 is equals to 0. That was we did this equation for factor form, right? Now we are doing it with formula form, right? Quadratic formula. So what is my a, b, c? A is 2, b is 7, and my c is 6, right? And I have to check, plug it in the values in the formula, and formula is minus b plus minus. Always write down the formula, right? B square minus 4ac divided by 2a, and explain a little bit. Now we are plugging it in the values. So minus b means minus 7 plus minus under the root b square is 49 minus 4 times a is 2 and c is 6 divided by 2a. So 2 times 2. So we go ahead and then c plus minus under the root 49 minus, so how much is it? 6 to the 12. 12 times 4 is 48 divided by 4, right? So we have now minus 7 plus minus under the root 1, right? And we know that square root of 1 is 1. So I have 2. So I have minus 7 plus 1 divided by 4 and minus 7 minus 1 divided by 4. And if I solve this, minus 7 plus 1, that will be minus 6, right? Minus 6 divided by 2. And here it will be minus 7 and minus 1. So minus 8 divided by 4. So this brings out as minus 3 and minus 2 as my answer, right? This is my answer. Minus 3 and minus 2, because this is minus 6 divided by 2. Oh, 4. So it is 2 3 is 6, 3 by 2, minus 3 by 2 and 2. So this is my answer. And you know that you can also solve it by factor method. So we have two distinct solution. Why we have two distinct solution? Because if I calculate this part, b square minus 4ac, that turns out as positive. That turns out as d greater than 0. If d is greater than 0, then we have two real roots, and we have two real roots, right? So the x-axis, so the parabola will be cutting x-axis at two real points, right? So and when we have one real root, when d is equals to 0, when this part becomes 0, b square minus 4ac becomes 0, then there is a square root thing is gone. And then we are only left with minus b divided by 2a. That is one real solution. So one root, right? So that parabola will be cutting x-axis only at one point. So hope you like this, and you have to practice it a lot. You take all those examples from the textbook and solve them by the quadratic formula and by the factor method. And then you can realize that, okay, some of the equations cannot be solved by factor method. So you have to use quadratic formula for the quadratic equation solution. Right? So remember this discriminant b square minus 4ac, which decide about the number of the roots. So you can repeat it one more time. If d is equals to 0, the quadratic equation has one root or one solution. If d is greater than 0, has two real roots or two solutions. If d is less than 0, has no real roots, but there are imaginary roots, as we did this example. X square minus 3x plus 4. We have two roots, but they are imaginary roots. Hope you like the video. If you like it, subscribe my channel, press the bell icon button to receive another video. Thank you for watching.